Hello, everyone. We are connecting the conversations of the Festival of PHotoESPAña 2020, and thanks to the collaboration of AECID. I will be having a conversation with Audrey Hoareau. She's the artistic director of PHoto Basel. Hello, Audrey. I hope you are fine.
Fine.
Tell me, you are working for a very important photography fair. How is PHoto Basel dealing with this COVID situation, and what were the implications besides the calendar? How you are, preparing the fair for this very unique situation?
Hi, Sergio. In fact, this COVID situation is hard for everyone, but especially for all the people who work with events. And we had to deal with this big crisis and to change and adapt ourselves. And I think we did our best, and we did it quite well, because we change all the time our plans and projects without being afraid of what could happen. At first, we were planned mid-June on the same date as Art Basel, but because of coronavirus, we had to postpone the fair to mid-September, the same date as Art Basel. And we decided to finally to keep this meeting on mid-June to do a virtual fair, a virtual edition, to keep these dates alive and meaningful. So we organized this virtual edition with galleries who already booked for the real fair, and with other ones, because it was a totally different templates and totally different issues. And actually it worked well, because we had more than 20,000 visitors, but it was a communication tool more than a fair. And then Art Basel was cancelled for mid-September, so we had to move everything and to think about a new decision, how to happen or not happen. And we decided to change our plans and to collaborate with another fair in Berlin. So it's quite surprising to change city and even a country to make the fair happen. So we are now scheduled with Positions Berlin Art Fair, which is modern art and contemporary art fair, and we will take place in Tempelhof in Berlin from 10th to 13th of September. So it's quite challenging, but very exciting.
But how was the experience with a virtual fair? Because we know that this has been very critical for the art market in general, but I had a chance to speak with some people that work for important galleries, and they were saying they were surprised that there was some movement. I mean, people are still, reacting, and collectors are buying, and the market is not totally, sleeping, waiting for, to awake one day, very soon. So what was your experience, and how this virtual alternative, which is, I would say, it's not really an alternative, no, but in this situation, how if it has opened new possibilities, how are you going to use this experience for the future?
It's true that it's not a substitute to a real fair. It's more something more, a bonus. And we were quite surprised by the audience, the number of visitors. We had the galleries could do some sales, but of course we all missed this real relationship with the artworks, the discussion with the galleries. When you visited this virtual edition, you are alone in an empty space. But I have to say that the most important thing is that this tool was really well done. You know that dealing with the internet and the technology, we have to build a very simple tool, and I was convinced by this application, by the fact that it was really intuitive, really easy to move on and to see every different booth and different artworks with all the information. From my perspective, as a visitor, you had much more chance to have to collect different information, to have the prices really clearly noted on every picture. So it's a totally different experience and visits as in real. So for the future, we think that we have to do it again with the same company, because Kunstmatrix, it's a German company. They do it really well, and they really collaborate with us to make this website more and more efficient. So we plan to do it again in the future, in the same time as the real fair, or in the moment in the year where nothing happens, because it's really a question of filling a blank. During the coronavirus, the collectors and the visitors, they were alone, and then they would need to read books, see films, and to be fed by art, culture, and we are one of these cultural actors who are part of this art world. So we need to find those alternatives to make it alive during this very troubled days.
No, interesting. And what are your expectations? I mean, how do you know, really, you have a dark cloud in front of you about the future of the market, or do you think that I mean, the signals that we can understand for the moment, they allow us to conclude that the recovery will happen soon? And I mean, and from your experience dealing directly with the market, what kind of recommendations you can tell to an artist? I mean, I know at least here in Portugal, and I think it's happening everywhere, I mean, a lot of artists are suffering from these situations. They're not selling, they're not receiving commissions for new projects. How from the perspective of the market and the connection you're having with collectors and institutions, what kind of recommendations and signals of hope you can share with the artistic community?
At first, I want to answer about this dark cloud, because actually we are really living a really strange time. I work for a fair, and I see many different fairs cancelled at the last moment or not, but because we are also in an international community, we can see the differences between the countries. And Unseen, the Amsterdam Fair just cancelled. The Frieze in London has cancelled too. We are really worried about Photo London. We are wondering about what happened with Paris Photo, because we can feel that all the borders are not open, and all the travels are not possible. So for me, this all those doubts create this dark cloud. But then the director of Ben Eisenhut, the director of PHoto Basel, he's moving all the time the project, and I think we have to keep this way of thinking, of doing things, of having targets, of not doing anything is not an option, because also our direct the people we work to they are galleries, and we can say and feel that they really need those meetings. They need to create moments where the collectors and their clients can meet them, because they are suffering right now. So this is important. And from the artistic side, about artists and people who do art and who are also suffering because there are the projects are really rare for now. I would say that they have to keep creative. This is my first advice. I think we are living an historical period, an historical moment, and it's important to, as an artist, to interpret, to be based on this situation, to build things and to give their point of view, to give their ideas, and to create, because the world needs their gaze on this. So I think for now it's really hard, but in the future things will be better, projects will be back, and exhibitions too, and we will need at that time their voice and their gaze on this episode.
Yeah, no, I really agree with you, and I think, I mean, this is really strange times. I think that I mean, if we look at history, usually the moments of crisis, they are very, very interesting for artists. You know, they are very challenging. But I have the feeling this is a different kind of crisis, and I've been in contact with some artists, and I mean, a good percentage of them, they tell me, I'm not in the mood to do anything. You know, this is really affecting me, because this is a kind of a crisis that I did not read about these sorts of crises in the art history or history books in general. It's a different situations. And I can even tell from my experience, because I was preparing 2 shows in museums in Lisbon for, no, one in Lisbon and another one in a museum in the north. And they were expected to happen in May, and the other one in early July. They were postponed to October, maybe now November, maybe December, we don't know. And for me, it's fine, because we really don't know how people are going to react, because now the dilemma is people are not going to museums. The museums have opened in Lisbon, and you have a national museum with 10 visitors a day. You know, people are not into museums. So the dilemma is you have to do things, you know, things have to happen. And at the same time, you don't want to make a huge effort and spend a lot of money, you know, because shows are expensive. And then you have 50 visitors a day or so. So, but anyway, I think we have to react, and we have to keep the channels very active. And I mean, this is the moment where we have to face the social system of art and make create conditions that all the actors inside this system, they have to be connected. You know, we have to keep on this conversation. I mean, there are some chances. I've never spoke with you before, and here we are in the morning and talking you know, sharing our perspectives. But do you think that at the moment, for example, if you compare with the crisis of 2008, do you think that if we analyze this between photography and visual arts, because, and I'm not making a conceptual distinction, I'm just saying because there is there are different markets in some sense, because even there is Art Basel and there is Photo Basel. And do you think that this is going to be more critical for photography or not? Or it's difficult to understand?
For now, it's really difficult to have an idea of what will happen and about some statistics, or I can feel here in France that there are a lot of initiatives to help artists. Of course, some financial compensations, but also some new awards, prizes, residencies. So we can feel that even if we are living a crisis, there are still these different projects around us. So I agree when you said that artists are not on the mood of creating, but all the conditions are here to do something. Of course, this moment is hard to live for them, and some of them are inspired by this and could really create around this, and some of them are totally empty about it. So I'm sure that when we will be out of this, we would have a new analysis on this terrible moment. I'm quite optimistic because I talk also to collectors and to galleries and to other curators, and most of them they are still in the mood of doing things. So I think we are not in a break. It's hard, but it's not a stop. We are still continue to go on. So I think it's I'm optimistic for the future and for the museum's life too, because I know that it's hard for people to visit now because they are not comfortable with all the conditions. But I'm sure we will be used to it.
Okay.
In the future.
So we are reaching our time, but I mean, there is something which I find really important, because also we have to keep alive and trying to get some normality. And for example, from my experience here in Lisbon, I was 2 months ago, I was contacted by the Minister of Culture and also the Deputy of Culture of Lisbon to give some ideas how to help the community, the artistic community, and the artists in general. And I mean, here, I guess this is happening in all of countries. There are social programs to support artists as any person in general. But I mean, my strongest recommendation is that the institutions, and I would say the state, the local states, and the private institutions, this is the moment to buy. You know, this is the moment to buy, because that's the most fair, not about art fairs, but about the art in general, is that artists are producing the work, you know, and this is the moment where you cannot postpone one of the most important things to feed the art system. So state institutions, museums, private foundations, this is the moment to buy, and maybe you can use the criteria of necessity, you know, about the level of artists, maybe not the biggest artists are the most successful. They're not who having the needs, the highest rates of needs. So this is the moment to really support emerging and mid-career artists and younger artists. And so this is the moment to buy, you know.
Mm-hmm. True, I totally agree, and and I think also it's good to continue to visit with all the security conditions, but for all the audience to still have a cultural habits, going to museums, visit festivals, and go to fairs, to start to continue to have a normal life, and to help the artistic and cultural field to move on.
Well, Audrey, we are out of time. Thank you so much. I hope to meet you soon, I know, live in Basel, hope. And keep this spirit alive, and I hope to see you soon. All the best.
Thank you, Sergio. Look forward to meet you in person. If you want to go to Berlin, you're welcome. It's from 10th to 13th of September in Tempelhof for PHoto Basel in Berlin.
I would love to do it, because also I'm eager to travel. I want to go to all the cities that I love, and I need to see people. That's these situations remind me how much we need to have the experience with the others and somewhere else. Okay, Audrey.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Hope to see you soon.